Good evening. Good evening, my fellow Americans. It is exactly Monday, March 15th, 2021. Again, if it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert Verney Show. Well, this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to, before I delve into our interesting conversation we're going to have this evening, I'd like to give you 30 seconds to call a friend, call a family member, let them know that the Robert Verney Show is live. So you have 30 seconds. I'd like for you to call a friend and let them know that we are on, we are live. Again, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert Verney Show. Well, this evening, what we have on the agenda is, of course, President Biden, who delivered a wonderful speech last week. That was his first primetime address to the nation. Again, as you know, last Thursday, President Biden signed the stimulus, which I'm sure most of you were eager for the stimulus. Well, it has come to pass. Well, the parade was scheduled for the Friday, but Mr. Biden, the minute he has the opportunity to sign the stimulus, he wasted no time. So he went ahead and then signed it on that Thursday, and then as of Friday, people were starting receiving their checks. So those of you who already received your checks, kudos to you. Let them know that there are still some who are still waiting to get their checks, and we still waiting. So it's well, fine and dandy. We all going well here. Again, if you here, if you can hear the Robert Verney Show, give me a kudos here. Give me a kudo. Give me a kudo. We would love to hear from you, and then we'd love to talk to you more as you log in. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more. Well, we have a host of other things that we'd like to discuss with you here, and we first off we'd like to thank Mr. Biden for this address to the nation. I think this is something that we needed. We needed to bring some kind of a closure. It tells me that America is still a great nation, that we can come together as a unit. And this is what makes us great. This is what makes America great. This is what keeps us going as a nation. And when we have our commander-in-chief taking the helm, in other words, taking the lead in this common enemy that we have, COVID, and making great stride, it's very encouraging to see how far we've come as a nation and how far we're going. So the important thing is that the COVID is technically under control for the most part, but we as Americans, we still have to do our part. In the address that the president delivered on Thursday, he asked the American people to do their part. How do you do your part? It's simply by wearing your mask, wash your hands, apply the 6 feet distancing. It's key. It's key. As we do things like that, we can turn the wave. We can turn the wave, and hopefully we could have a better, and because guess what? I'm looking toward the summer. Summer is right around the corner. Before you know it, we're already in March 15th, and the summer is only 3 months away. So before you know it, school will be out. A lot of students will be on summer vacation. And then July comes around, and it's 4th of July, which is when we celebrate our independence. So I encourage you to, I'd like to echo exactly what the president said, is that we need to stay in tune of what's going on, and then stay abreast. And because there's still a lot to be done. Until we do our part as American, we would not be able to turn the tide. So stay tuned, and as Americans, we still have a lot to do, and I believe that with good intention, with people like you, I'm sure we can make the difference that we so desire. Well, just to recap, for those of you who did not get a chance to watch Mr. Biden speech to the nation, it was actually a wonderful speech. We truly enjoyed it. He called for unity. He called for unity because we have a common enemy. So if you see COVID as a common enemy, there's a lot that we can do. Because every so often when we wear a mask, we're not making a political statement. We trying to protect our brother or sister, either on our left or right side. When we do our part, America does well. So if we have this in mind, and I'd like to quote him here, where when he talks about these two pharmaceutical company who come, it's Merck and also Johnson and Johnson, who joined hands to forge a partnership because the country needs them the most. They're not worrying about profit. They're not, but they see America. And then this is the best of America. When we in need, when we're in trouble, we know we can count on our brother and our sister because I'm my brother's keeper. And this is what it says in the word. So, and when America has delivered on that one, you see, these great company right there, they put the difference aside, they put the profits aside, but they want to contribute to the American people. But at the end of the day, this company, the stocks will go to the roof, of course. And anytime a president of the United States is quoting you, is quoting your effort, is echoing the work that you're doing. So you can tell your profit will be exponentially high. That it's hard to understand how well these guys will do after this COVID, this pandemic is put aside, because a lot of people that know about Merck, they didn't know. I'm sure most of you probably know Johnson and Johnson. Johnson and Johnson been around for over a century, so they've been around for a long time. Yet they really put aside the differences. They come together to they're using each other's facility to expedite the vaccine that we in dire need of. President Biden mentioned that by May 1, I'm quoting him, that all Americans should be able to have access to a vaccine. So what does that mean is that everybody will be vaccinated, but you have an opportunity to tap into the resources that are available just to get your vaccine. So this is something that to keep in mind. I mean, there's so many vaccines out there right now. It's more convenient for young people from the 18 to 65, 70 to get the vaccine. So I'm not promoting the vaccine. All I'm saying is that it's readily available should you need so. So, because at the Robert DuVernay Show, we don't promote anything. All we do here, we're here to present you the case and the evidence. And then at the end of the day, you, the smart audience as you are, make the ultimate decision. And I can go on and on about the speech that he delivered when he talks about the mind frame of the American people, the people that we lost. I mean, a lot of you are grieving. I'm sure most of you may have lost a family member. You may have lost a friend, a co-worker, someone that you've known. Thank you, Dr. Israel. How are you? Thank you for logging in. Johnson & Johnson cannot make powder. Very good. That's a good one. So, as we move on, we see that the importance of us coming together as a unit, and then the idea that we all can work for a common goal, a common theme. I think that's resonant with every American who cares about America, who cares about their family member. I mean, this speech was well delivered. Again, if you lost a loved one, a friend or co-worker at work, I think that speech really resonated with a lot of people, because I didn't have any immediate family member of mine who passed, but I've known a lot of clients of mine who passed during this horrific disease of last year. So it was fine. Okay, I just got a note here. I got one of my loyal viewer who she said she got her first dose on Friday. Again, thank you for sharing, Dr. Azo. Please share with me, those of you who are already vaccinated. Let us know at the Robert DeVerney Show, how well did that go? How was the waiting line? Was it painful to get that vaccine? Did you feel any kind of burning sensation? And then did you get any side effect? Things of that nature. So that right there, we can educate the. Some of us may have doubts about the vaccines. Some of us who may have some type of reservation to the vaccine. So if you one of the Robert DeVerney Show viewer who may have gotten the vaccine, I encourage you to go ahead and share with us the what you've experienced during the shot itself. So and if you know a particular area that is readily available to give vaccine and in terms of the duration in line to get that vaccine, please share it with us, depending on your zip code. And one thing that President Biden touched is the fact that some underserved area, they're making it available. I was listening to a piece on WLRN last Friday on my way to the office. I've heard of the part of Delray Beach, in certain area underserved, they do not have a camp where people can go in and vaccinate. Most of the place were out west where more affluent residents are residing, and that right there was a disadvantage to some members of the community who are the front workers. These are the people, the minorities who get more exposure to this deadly disease. These are the people who have to work. They cannot work from home. Most of them cannot work from home because the line of work requires them to be on the forefront. So you would think that these people would definitely have some type of leg in the game, and that's the reason why the administration is making it a priority on the part to make that vaccine available to everyone, regardless of your zip code where you may live. They're making it available to everyone, and again, the goal of the president is to have everyone vaccinated by May 1st. What does that mean? There'll be enough vaccine in stock to everyone who decides to be vaccinated. So I think that's something that I wanted to make it prime and center the top of the show and clear any smoke. And again, that somber speech really resonated with me, and I'm sure it resonated with a lot of Americans who've watched the speech. Then again, he wasn't boastful. He was very humble. And we as Americans, we have a can-do attitude, and then that's what the entire world look up to us when they need guidance. And then we taking guidance, and we giving guidance, and we're taking the helm in delivering to our people. Very important. All right, thank you. I just saw a note here from Dr. Is also the rollout was very smooth. You had your appointment at Publix, no line, no fuss, no pain, but soreness on that arm. The next day, they gave me Moderna. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Izzo. Dr. Izzo, that's one of my loyal viewers here who went and got the vaccine. She's in the education field. She's an educator. She has to, so she deals with a lot of kids on a regular basis. So she went ahead and took that vaccine. So very good, Dr. Izzo, for sharing. She was given the Moderna. Okay, thank you. Oh, your husband already had both doses. Okay, from December. I was a guinea pig. All right. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much. Well, yes, indeed. The speech of the president, Dr. Izzo, was well delivered, well written, and the tone that was used, it was class. We missed that. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been for 4 years. We haven't had that, but I think we're making progress. We're in the right direction. Now we're not taking any jab at anybody, but we're just telling at the Robert DuVernay show. We just tell it like it is, and the speech was well received. I'm sure there'll be some polling, and Americans are very pleased with the president, whether or not you voted for him, and he delivered a wonderful speech. Next thing on the president agenda is that the very next day he was somewhat on a tour. So he was touring Pennsylvania, the Midwest, selling his plan. So remember that with the stimulus package that just passed, the last administration, well actually the administration of Obama back in 2008, when they passed the stimulus to bail out the auto industry, they did not do a good job. Whereas President Obama, he's such a humble guy, very humility is synonymous to Obama because he's not the type who's gonna brag. But in politics, sometimes it requires that you let others know what you're doing, because oftentimes people have the general public, especially if you let somebody else leading the way, they would probably put a message out there that does not resonate with what you're doing. And President Biden, who served with President Obama during the 8 years in the White House, knew a thing or two about not being able to be at the forefront to sell, to deliver on what you promised. So I'm sure he went around and told the people in Pennsylvania, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, that day, what I've made a promise on, I delivered on it. So that's exactly what he did by passing that stimulus. I'm sure most of you, if you already found your 1,400, those of you already have your 1,400 delivered to your account, please give. I want you to encourage the others that to stay calm. It's coming, and the IRS just put out a memo on Friday. There is a lot out there, but eventually they will get to you because they're rolling out both the tax return for this year and also the stimulus package. So the system is working overtime, whereas at times they have to make sure that the refund is going to the right individuals who deserve it. So that's where we see a little delay. Even the IRS, just the past 2 weeks, I'm sending out a lot of letters because a lot of fraud has been going on. You know, people will stay at home. They have a lot of time in their hands. They have some of my clients who let me know, hey, we received a letter from the IRS. Well, the reason being is that the IRS wants to make sure that the tax that's been filed are in fact coming from you, because there's a lot of scam going out there. So they want to make sure that they can verify you, that it's in fact your tax return. And it's nothing for you to be panicking about. They're doing their due diligence because they just don't want to put out the money twice. Where if somebody cashed that check and then you're going to come back on the back end and say, I never received my check, then they have to investigate the claim. Yet the money is all gone, and whoever took that money cannot be paid. So they don't want to be at a loss. So just they've been proactive about it. They sending out letters to some taxpayer, making sure that you are indeed the person who submitted that return, and there was no gimmicks. That's all. So stay tuned. All right. Now, on another note, looks like we have another 10 minutes until the end of the show. Those of you who are still logging, that's a good. I just have a question. Where they get that money that fast? Well, it's a good question. Well, the rollout. What happened is once the stimulus was signed into law, as you know, on Thursday morning, well around 11:30, 12 o'clock, President Biden signed that stimulus check. Okay, put it this way. He didn't put his name on it, just for the record, just so you know. His name is not on that stimulus check. So those of you who's getting your stimulus in the mail, don't expect to see President Joseph R. Biden Jr. on that check. It would not. You're not going to see it. So it's a good check, because I'm sure you're accustomed to the one that has the former president named on it. But this time, there won't be a president name on that stimulus, because He believed that's your money, and he had nothing to do with it. He's only a public servant. He's doing a job. So technically, this is your money. That's money that you paid, and this is your hard-earned money. So he has a notion that if we were to give this money back to the people that it belongs, I'm sure more good could be done, especially to the family at need, and that would be a great thing. So the folks, to answer to one of the viewers' question here, the folks already got the funds. Is and these things were automatically, and most of them were on the trial phase to see how fast that will go. So if you got lucky, but there should be a lot. Just between now, Monday the 15th, and this Friday, there's gonna be a lot deposited. So just be on the lookout. Just make sure you get some sleep. I'm sure most of you might be working about 6 o'clock in the morning, checking your bank account. But you know what? If you work up at 8, that money's still gonna be there. So get some rest, and the funds are there to be deposited to your account. So it's a matter of days and hours. Some of you got money this morning. I got clients who call me who got the money this morning. I'm sure there's gonna be clients calling me tomorrow. They got the refunds deposited into their account the next day. So yours is en route. So no panic. Just remain calm, and you'll get your stimulus. Okay, is that right? And then when you get that stimulus, please help a small business within your community. Make them thrive. This is what we need at this time. We need Americans who support small businesses and support one another. That's what we need. All right. Now, there's a part of the stimulus I'd like to touch with you, especially those of you who may be, in fact, worried about. Perfect. That's fine. Yeah. So to those of you who may be aware of the of part of the stimulus where it talks about the credit. There's a credit part of the stimulus that the president wants to stay permanently, but we don't know how long would that go. Okay. That's correct. We see the thing about my viewers, they are so smart and intelligent. So if I'm not ready for one of these shows one night, man, I'll be so embarrassed. So I have one of the viewers, before I jump into the next segment, she just said that, how's that going to increase the country's debt? Will we be taxed later? That's a good question, Dr. Azor. Thank you for your intelligent question. We encourage those questions. They really will appreciate it here at the Robert DeVerney Show. And well, those funds that you're receiving today, that money does not grow on tree. I'm sure that's something that we learned growing up as children, that when our parents give us some allowance, they give us the allowance for maybe for a week. That's if you're responsible. It probably on Monday before you head out to school. They say, here's a $10. You know what? So 10 divided by 2, about 10 divided by 5. In other words, you can spend $2 per day. So this is your allowance. So because you come home, you still have food, and you have breakfast, you have lunch, and you have dinner. But then that $10 they give you for the week, because you show some type of responsibility. They want to see how well you can manage that. But remember that your parents give you that money from their savings, from a budget that they have set aside for their kids. Now, but they earn that money. See, the key word here is earned. So that money was earned, maybe through their work, from a paycheck that they acquired the week prior. But then again, that was money already earned. Whereas a stimulus, on the other hand, is money that we're borrowing. We're borrowing this money from other sources, and we may not want to delve into where that money is coming from. But this is money that's borrowed money. So when we borrow this money, to your great point, I've seen a lot of folks in Capitol Hill talking about, well, the deficit is going to the roof. Now, I just wonder, where have they been the last 4 years? Because we just gave out a tax break to the multi-millionaire back in 2018. And most of you are homeowners. Those homeowners right now, in my tax practices, I file taxes for my clients. and they come in with $15,000 in mortgage interest, yet they're not getting a penny back, not a cent back on their actual payments to those mortgage interests. So now, which tells me that that money that was allocated to the average folks, as this money was allocated to the because to some folks, yet it was not given to these people yet. However, it's been given to the multi-millionaires. So what does that tell you? I'm sure most of you may have heard the saying, and you technically robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's exactly what happened. So the average guy, the average gal, put it this way, on that American dream. The American dream is to own a piece of property. Okay? Because this is your home. This is your land. So by owning a piece of property, the government even give you homestead. So they want you to stay within your community. So certain part of your loan, the county will, give you a break of 25, depending of your status, 25 or $50,000 if you're a widow, depending non-taxable. So just so you can stay within your county or the city that you live in. Now, the homestead's still there. The county is working with you, but not the federal level, because there has been some modification in the tax code. We've got to give kudos to Mr. Paul Ryan, who was the anchor of that bill back in 2018 when it was passed. These credits were taken out from the average Joe, average Mary, and then given to the millionaires. So in other words, you as a regular guy, you cannot claim your mortgages anymore, your mortgage interest, because you could pay $20,000. Doesn't mean a thing. But yet, the millionaires were given credit, because these guys, they own businesses, they own corporations. So the idea was that these are the guys who actually can prop the economy. They are job creators. But in reality, the job creators are the small guy, the average American people, the mom and pop store. That's what makes America thrive. That's who we have. That's our backbone. Now, so those taxes are not here. Now, to go back to Dr. Izzo's point, these funds that we're taking right now, they borrowed at a rate, and then we're going to have to pay them later. Now, who's going to pay for them? Unfortunately, it's going to be our kids and our grandkids. Our grandchildren will bear the burden of paying this debt, because if we borrow at that rate that we are right now, I'm afraid that our dollar will depreciate, and God knows what else. So let's hope the economy turn around. That's the reason why I encourage you, those of you who's getting that stimulus, to make the best of it. Don't invest it. Do something with it. Don't just put it in the bank and trying to earn some interest. It doesn't stimulate the economy, because that's what they call it, stimulus. You see what the word stimulus? It's a Latin word, stimulus. What it does is stimulate, right? Stir things up, it stirs things. And the money that you have that's what we call it, currency. Currency, that's something that keeps on going. It's going around. So don't put it in the bank. Don't put it in your pillows. There's a little side joke here. But make good use of it, and make sure America is thriving again. All right? So I hope that answered Dr. Izzo's question, but I'm sure as like the professor came out of me, whereas to elaborate a lot more. But thank you so much. All right, next question. Are you guys still working on the student loans forgiveness? It's a good question. Well, the student loan it's going to take some time. It was very popular during the campaign, but again, with that new stimulus, and then maybe if we start making some headways in the economy, I'm sure President Biden has some few cards left in his back pocket that he can definitely put in. But again, how far would he go? That remains to be seen. But I'm sure this is something that's still in his mind, in his administration, because you look at most students who are graduating on average with a bachelor, even a master's, they're coming out with 40, 60,000, 70,000 dollars of. I think about the doctorate students with 200,000 in student loans. So, but to me, if I were in a position to suggest anything, which I'm sure I've made my voice heard already, I would encourage those of you who want to see your loan to be forgiven to give something back. Whereas maybe at some community level, and then some portion of your loan could be forgiven. If you have 100,000, I think if they could forgive $50,000 of that loan, I think it's great. It's a great start. I don't think it would be wise to wipe out all the loans, and it will, because it's a trillion. It's a $2 trillion debt, student loans. I mean, this is a lot. So I would love to see the students. I mean, those of you who have loans, who already graduated, and then because those loans are, they're like mortgages, man. They're like mortgages. And then if they could work something, but that would be great. But again, don't think that nothing is nothing everything is out the bag yet. But I still believe that we still have a chance that they can look at loan forgiveness. Because I myself, for example, I have some student loans as well too. I'd love to see those go away, but then again, but if I were asked to be given something back in exchange, I would definitely do so. That could be teaching, or do some services to the and then give me a third of my pay, maybe for a year or 2 years. I would more definitely jump into that one. All right, so it's about the jury's not out. All right. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm sure there's more. But that was a very good question. Thank you for bringing this up. Nice question. Again, tonight I'm very thrilled with the questions I'm getting, and very engaging. You guys are an engaging audience, and I truly appreciate that. All right. Now, we only have a few minutes left. Looks like I'm going over time. I just got a note here from my producer here, Robert. You're going over time. You're going over time. What we have. Okay. Well, if you allow me another 5 minutes, producer, I'll be more than happy to wrap the show here. But I wanted to make this part of tonight's show. But I went into too many details with the other one. But what I wanted to touch to was with part of the stimulus, whereas there's, I'm sure most of you heard about the $3,600 that which is part of this stimulus package to family who have kids, and kids between 1 to 6 years old. You'll get $3,600 on top of the $2,000 per credit. And on top of the 2,000 credit that you get when you file your tax. So it's not going to be something, just to clarify that. I'm sure that I have a lot of people who ask me the question, we get that $3,600 every month. No, no. That $3,600, which is for kids from 1 to 6, when you file your taxes, in addition to the $2,000 that you already you automatically had, they're going to add another $3,600 to a low-income family. Why is it part of the provision? It's to uplift these people, to bring them up, to give them some aspiration that they can come to the middle class. Because when we all do well, America does well. And that's the only way we can bring some folks out of poverty. Because during income tax season, that's when the government can pay you directly. That's when Congress appropriate the budget, because when we're gonna have budget every year, and on October the federal government put out the budget. They have a forecast of what's coming up for next year. Okay, so the fiscal year ends September 30th, and the new budget began, and the new budget begins on October 1st. That's perfect. That is perfect. But now when it comes to the American people, the poor, the less fortunate, in this bill that just recently passed, just last week, and was signed by the president on Thursday, and who immediately sign it the same day, that Thursday, because he was waiting. The idea was to have a fanfare on Friday. He said, no, 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 no. The American people cannot wait. They cannot wait one more hour. They cannot wait one more day. So let me sign this bill, and guess what? And send it to Congress, and with my signature, and send to the Treasury Department. And then that's the reason why on Friday most of you were having your checks. So this is a president who really talked the walk, okay? And he toughened it up. So he wasted no time. So he has enough time to go around and campaign on that issue. And now, when we think of the poor, by adding them a $3,600 on plus $2,000, that's what, $5,600, right? So that right there, if you have a family of if you have one dependent under 6, so 3,600 plus the 2,000, that's what, 5,600. If you have 2 kids, so you have 2 times 5,600, right? That's give you 11,000, right? So think about it. I mean, 12,000, right? All right, 56, 56. So you think about it. So 11.2. So now when we see things like that, that's encouraging. That is encouraging. That's so nice to know that there are those out there who really care about us, especially the President of the United States, who make it his main priority to look out for the little guy. So oftentimes we only look out for the big guys because they have our back. But who's looking out for the average guy? You know, who? So this is something to keep in mind, okay? So now if you have kids between 6, okay, 7 and up to 18, you would only get the $3,000. So okay, just to bring those in the fold, just so you can have a better life and hopefully do something, maybe start a business. Because when the tax money, when that refund comes, most people use it to do something of value. So that's the whole idea of the increase in the taxes for the less fortunate, and President Biden will deliver for you. All right. Thank you. Now, okay, very good. Yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, Dr. Azor, just to answer you, to follow up on your question. Yeah. That's the reason why he signed it on Thursday. He signed it on Thursday because simply he cannot wait. I mean, the American people couldn't wait on Friday, because he could have waited on Friday, but no. The minute he signed it on Thursday, and that document, I can see they scan it to the Treasury Department. The president just signed it. It's official. Start giving out checks. The checks will start. I mean, people were getting their checks in on Friday morning. So that tells you that where there's a will, there's a way. That's the America that we live in. That's the president that we voted for. That's the president of America. He was looking out for all Americans. So stay tuned, and then I guess this will be it for tonight. I'd like to give out some shout out to those of you who logged in quite early. Dr. Azor, one of the loyal fan here, loyal viewer. Dr. Who else is here? Dakar, okay, Dakar. It will take some time for Dakar. So you know what I want to hear. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. If Dakar is next, you know what, Dakar may not be next right now. I don't believe that the American people have the appetite for anything with immigration right now. Not because they don't want that, but we need to prop the economy. Guess what? If the economy is thriving, okay, if we see in the jobs, we get those report that jobs creation, that we just had our last report for the month of February. It was a great month, of course, and we had in the north of 373,000 jobs. Okay, 373,000 jobs were created in one month, the month of February. Now, if we see those trends going upward, but of course, there's going to be a lot of other things that we can talk about. So remember that the American people are very generous. They have the biggest heart on planet Earth. But yet you have to take care of home. And that's the reason why I think President Biden, with that piece of legislation that he just passed, that was a big thing. But again, for you to pass anything DACA with immigration, you're going to need at least 60 senators. So right now we're at 50-50 in the Senate. I can see it happening in the House, but those guys in the Senate, if they wouldn't pass, if not one of them signed on that stimulus package, let alone something comes with immigration, they won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. So, but I believe if we're creating jobs, that's the reason I encourage those of you out there who have a business mind, who are so clever, who are very creative, to start make things happen. And guess what? We create a small business here. If it's thriving, guess what? You can hire one or two. See, you contributed. That's your form of contribution to the economy. Just bringing someone into the fold. I think that would be spectacular. So I think we can do our part. Just the same way that President asked us to do our part by wearing our mask, by washing our hands, and by practicing the 6-foot distancing. I think we can do our part by creating jobs. And then, as you know, the engine of our great economy has always been small businesses. So the ball is on our court. Let's take this unique opportunity to thrive and make the best. Because guess what? This is a unique opportunity. And in due time, when we can say at one given moment, when America needed you the most, maybe you didn't have to serve in the front line. Maybe you didn't have to serve in the military. But yet, the small contribution you have done has really lifted others. And that's what makes us America. That's what makes us brothers. That's what makes us my brother's keeper. So there's a lot of things that we can do. So I encourage you tonight to think of something, innovate, bring something on the table. I think that'll be great. So on this tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to close the show. And it's 42 minutes past the hour, and I'm sure I'm going to have some discussion with my producer here. I might say, well, you're over 12 minutes over the timeline. But I'm sure my audience was very engaged tonight. I'm willing to take the blame. But whenever the audience is engaged, maybe we may have to renegotiate my contract here. But again, it was a wonderful show. The topics were great. The questions were out of this world. And I encourage your questions. And there's a few topics here. I see one of the viewers put here, well, we should definitely talk about tax on one of the shows. Definitely. I'll definitely put a package together for you, particularly, and to talk about some taxes that we can delve into, and then bring some common sense legislation to these lawmakers. I'm sure some of them do watch the show as well, too, just so you know. So I'm sure when you bring your questions here, some of them do watch the show. They can take a piece of that, and when I do get with them, and I'll definitely share that with them, your thoughts, and then the way you see things and what you want to see for America moving forward. I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Aaron Gauthier from the great city of North Miami Beach, who logged in. Congratulations for logging in. And Mr. Ambrose, as usual, and thank you for logging in. Those of you who may be watching this on the later time, I encourage you to tell a friend that it's very important that they log in on the Robert DeVerney Show and subscribe. Those of you who have not subscribed, this is a time to tell a friend to subscribe and to the Robert DeVerney Show, and make sure that you click on all. That way, when I do post something that is due to come up, and you already have the notification. So it's very important that we can start at the same time. All right. Again, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Stay tuned for more, and we'll definitely keep you posted as things are developed. Again, if it's Monday, if it's 8 p.m., it's the Robert DeVerney Show. Until next time, my fellow Americans, have a wonderful evening. Thank you.